So today we're going to go hang out with 4-time Grammy Award-winning producer, mixer, and engineer, Vance Powell. So Vance is a local Nashville producer and engineer who has a studio in Berry Hill here in Nashville, Tennessee. It's called Sputnik Sound. He shares it with his friend Mitch. They both have their own rooms. It's an old house, and the whole house they just turned into this crazy studio. And it's wild. It's really, really cool. Vance has worked with a ton of artists that have been huge inspirations on me personally, and probably to you as well. Obviously, a lot of them being very, very successful projects. Just to name a few, my good friend Tyler Bryant from Tyler Bryant and the Shakedowns, The Dead Weather, Jack White, Chris Stapleton, Jeff the Brotherhood, Danger Mouse, Kings of Leon, and the Raconteurs. The Blunderbuss record and the Lazaretto record from Jack White were huge inspirations on me. Absolutely so pumped to go and see this place. It's really rad. So thank you, Vance, for having me out. It was so much fun meeting you and getting to check out all the stuff and how you're using it and some of the cool projects. Very, very cool. Vance is a very successful engineer and producer, so he needs no promotion whatsoever. But if you guys want to follow him, I put his Instagram and his website linked down in the description. Check that out. So if you're watching this right now, I'm in Los Angeles actually working on some new, very cool projects. Gonna have some cool videos coming out of that. So if you're not subscribed, hit that notification bell on the subscribe so you can get notified every Monday when these videos go live. I've got some really cool new gear. Here, let me just show you real quick. We got some cool new gear, and I'm really, really pumped about that, and gonna be working on making some really fun projects using all this gear, and I'll put those videos up if you guys want to check them out. Also, I link all of the gear that I think is awesome down in the description. They are Sweetwater links. Sweetwater sponsors all these videos. Thank you, Sweetwater, for sponsoring the videos. If you guys watch these videos just because it's fun to watch, to see other people's setups, that's great. If you're looking to get your own gear, you see something you like, use the links down in the description. The way that it works is they are affiliate links. So if you click on them and wind up getting either the gear that you clicked on or literally just any other gear, that supports my channel through Sweetwater. Sweetwater is the #1 online distributor of all this stuff. So if you're looking for it, they've got it. One thing that I really like about Sweetwater is whether you're just getting started and you're looking to get a Arturia Keystep 37 as your first MIDI controller, or you're looking to get a Neve 33609 or some Warm Audio 273 pre's, or some high-end converters, or whatever it is, you can get all of it from Sweetwater. They have everything from entry-level stuff to very elite, high-level, epic studio gear. So thank you, Sweetwater, for sponsoring the video. Guys, use the links down in the description. It's a tremendous help for me, and you guys have been so freaking awesome. I'm very thankful. Thank you guys for all of the support, liking, subscribing, all that stuff. If you want to book Zoom consultations, we've been doing a bunch of those. That's been a lot of fun. You can go to ANDREWMASTERSmusic.com. All of the services listed here are available on that website, ANDREWMASTERSmusic.com. Thank you guys for watching, and let's go check out Vance's studio. Hey, Vance.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty well. We're a little overexposed here. That's fine.
That's all right. I'm always a little overexposed.
Out here at Sputnik Sound.
Sputnik Sound, yep.
Here in Berry Hill. Thank you for having me.
You got it. Well, let's go in and I'll show you around.
Was this originally?
This was a house.
A house.
It was built in 1942. And then my partner next door, Mitch Dane here, he is in there working. So,
sweet.
You know, it's a studio. We got to work. So
yeah.
This side is all his, and this is kind of a common lounge area. And
nice kitchen.
Nice little kitchen, yeah. So when Mitch purchased his house, it was only 900 square feet. So he had that tracking room on the front. It was all, again, built during World War II. And then this was the back wall of the house. So all this out back here was added on.
Okay.
This was all grass.
Nice.
Out back here. So yeah, come on back. This is my world back here. So this is the hallway here. This has 6 years worth of work on the walls.
Wow.
Well, 5 years worth of work.
Console tape?
This is all console tape of mixes, things that were mixed or recorded. The white is things that were mixed. The red is things that were recorded.
Incredible penmanship.
That is Mike Fahey, my assistant. He writes like this, right? And I write like this. But this is all his work. He put all this together.
Wow.
And there are 1,000 songs here.
Oh my gosh.
This is our tech shop here, where we have, you know, tech shop stuff. You know, we've got the cables, connectors, hard drives that clients haven't picked up, 2 extra Q boxes, SSL parts, broken stuff, extra SSL computer, broken iMac, and extra gear.
It's nice to have a little spot like this.
Yeah, well, you have to have it in the studio, really. And then there's a full basement. You're standing on the door there, the trap door.
Oh, whoa.
And there's a basement under the whole front of the house. And there's cables, connectors, storage. Yeah, it's a mess down there. This is my B room. This is where all the overflow crap ends up. My B3's in here. This is also where my assistant Mike, where his station is. This is where he does edits and where he preps songs for me to mix. And you know, sometimes we have amplifiers that don't fit down in the room. They end up here. Mic stands, obviously an extra drum, the head, a keyboard.
You run lines in here too, so you can.
There are lines. They literally run across the carpet there for the B3. Now in here, we just have been working. It's like I said, it's a little bit of a mess, but we've been working in here in my machine room, cleaning up some racks. So there's cables on the floor here. There's an extra old 192 in here. This is my machine room. This has the SSL power supply. I have an atomic power supply. I have an actual pair of original, the analog ones. And then this is the computer. There's another spare computer I have up here. And then around here is my Pro Tools rig and RAID arrays and all for our backup system.
That room is putting in the work.
It is doing some work. So, and then down here, you step down, there's 4 steps here. The last one's a little weird. You know, these are all just posters and things of concerts and records and things that are kind of important to me. There's, you know, just a couple gold records, platinum records. Chris Stapleton platinum records here, and signed Wanda Jackson poster there, signed by her, that it's real near and dear to my heart. Come down in here, this is sort of, we call this kind of the guitar booth. We do a lot of guitar amp stuff in here. Sometimes we'll do vocals and guitar. We'll do that in here. And then my tracking room, a lot of times there's my Wurlitzer sits over here. My drums are kind of half taken apart. The mics are nowhere near where they're supposed to be because we've had people coming and going. Keys over here, piano. A lot of times we'll use these big Gobos here, or this big Gobo, and that one to sort of block off the drums and then, you know, block off people. And
I love the doors and the old windows just hanging.
Oh, well, thanks. There's a flat panel up there you see. That's where the air conditioning runs.
Okay.
The air conditioner vent is about this big around so that it makes no noise.
Wow.
And so they couldn't get it in the arc of the ceiling, and I didn't want it exposed.
Yep.
So it created a little bit of a flutter. So these doors were from the original house that was built in '42. These 2 were the bedroom doors, and these 2 were the closet doors. And this was the actual back door into the garage. And so I came in here and laid them out on the floor while the guys were building, and I was like, you just gotta hang them up. And they kind of did it. They did it. And then a friend of mine named Scott Guillen, who's a really great artist, he's from here, has become quite famous. But he painted these doors and he freehanded all the ceiling. Because I told him I wanted it to look like a starry night. But the doors are actually providing a purpose. They're a diffuser. Then there's 703 on the top that's spray painted black.
Oh, cool.
You can't see it, but it's it's a soft diffusion on the top and hard down here. So this is just an Armstrong ceiling tile. It's a 1 square foot ceiling tile that's for suspended ceilings that you send to a guy and he drills it out. So it's an 80-cent tile that costs $3 each to drill.
Yeah.
So it's a $3.80 tile.
Yeah.
And there are about 3,000 of them in here. And originally, my original intention is to paint these, but painting them is kind of a little bit of a problem. So we've actually found that you can dye them. There's an ink that'll dye them, and but I just never got around to doing it. So the curtain rods are kind of it's a fluke. These curtains, there's 4 of them, were originally from a tour, some tour, and they posted them on Facebook Marketplace. These are velvet theater curtains, heavy velvet theater curtains with chains in the bottom.
Wow.
So these were drops for a tour. They were sold as being 12 by 15, but they're only 8, which was a little bit of a bummer once I got them. And so we went in and we put these wood pieces in and went into this joist and put these crossbars in. And what's awesome, I was gonna get them cut. I paid $500 for them. Wow. I was gonna get them cut, and it was $1,200 to get them cut. And I was like, okay, forget that. But what's awesome is that these Gobos will hold them up. So we have done the drumbrella. Like you bring this guy over, right?
Yep.
And you bring the other one over, and you take this one and you drape it up over the top. You drape this one up over the top, and they make the little drumbrella. So yeah, you can make a really nice little dead room with them. And then here on the piano, you see I just sort of pile the thing up on top and let it fall down the sides. There's microphones on the back.
Oh,
so
cool.
They're just sitting up here on top of the piano, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just do the mic pre's here on the piano, and we just send line level into the other room.
Because you're doing probably one of the few guys still doing a lot of live stuff together.
Almost everything I do. Yeah, it's live.
It's a lost art, man. It's awesome.
Well, it's weird how that's a lost art, but yeah, a lot of people don't do that anymore. It's fine.
It's very cool.
It's cool. They can call me.
And you can
call me.
And this is a really cool space to do it in, because some rooms are like way overkill, over the top, fancy.
I wish this room was bigger.
Yeah.
But it can't be, because the city wouldn't allow us to build it any bigger. We had to have parking in the back, and then drainage and all this stuff. This is as big as it could possibly be. I mean, I've done a 6-piece band in here. It gets a little crowded, but you know what? It's so what? It's fine.
Yeah, man.
So what? I mean, I've done a couple records. I did a couple Tyler Bryant records where we just put the drums here, and then we put amps on either side, and everybody just played in the room live. My original idea, again, was for all this to be painted another color, but all the wood is from a 160-year-old barn up in Kentucky. It had all been dried and treated, so there weren't any bugs or anything. And then it's hollow behind it, so it's just an air chamber behind it.
Okay.
So it's a trap.
What are some of the common practices, I guess, in this room?
Drum mics are pretty simple. You know, I usually either do some sort of, I kind of like mono overhead or a stereo or like an XY overhead.
Sure.
Which is usually an R88 or a Coles.
Oh, yeah.
KM84 on the hi-hat, 57s on the snare, a kick drum, D12, and then I've been using this Peluso 47, or I have a FET 47.
Yeah.
I kind of been liking these little Earthworks mics for toms. They're pretty cool. Yeah.
What is that?
That's a little special sauce of mine.
A little special
sauce. That's an Ampex 1101. It is, I think, an Omni.
Wow.
It was a microphone sold for reel-to-reel recorders in the 60s. It was made to hold in your hand and talk into with your family.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. At some point, I bought one. I just found it to be really awesome for this position here.
Yeah.
For vocals in the control room. Harmonica. Because I originally bought a harmonica. I have a harmonica version of it with a volume control. And again, we're not really set up here.
Sure.
I really love cymbals.
Yeah.
So like, cymbals that go like,
yeah.
You know. But I've got really great hi-hats, and I do have a bunch of good cymbals, but you know, I like broken stuff. And
I peeked on this kick drum real quick because I thought I had the same one. I think this is a 20 or 22, right?
It's a 22.
22. I have I think it's an 18 of this,
right?
But it's a 65 champagne
this is
sparkle.
about 65, yeah. And the toms are 47 leadies.
Ooh.
And I have that kit. It's not that one. It's this one over here. I have a 20-inch leady that's from the early 60s. I have the 47 leady, which is a 24, and I have a 49 back there that says Crazy Dan. That's a 49 leady. That's a 28. And then this little red kit here, those red toms, those one of Meg White's kits.
Oh, cool.
From the Hardest Button to Button video, where there was like 9 or 10 kits moving around. It was just in a box. I asked Jack if I could buy it. He's like, no, but you can have it. This is where all my headphone headphone amps and all that stuff are. But this is also where a bunch of like kind of the weird and woolly mics. And this is one of those 1101s.
Oh, cool. Look at that. That is crazy.
And this is a wireless microphone clip. It's about the only thing that fits. And then the reason I bought it is that I actually bought one of these, which has been modded to have a volume pot for harmonica.
Yeah.
And it's really good for that. And I just have a lot of weird stuff back here. Some of it's weird, some of it's not weird. I had the very first microphone I ever purchased in my life.
Wow.
SM57. That was painted by a friend of mine who's an artist. Birdcage, copper phone, I got a couple of those. A couple of BK5As, a Ball and Biscuit, an old Turner, telephone microphone, old A-Static. I actually use this quite often. This is a little piezo pickup, and just clip it on things and plug it into amplifiers, and it makes things sound really bad and awesome.
And this is a Furman system, right?
It is Furman,
Furman.
Yes. It's a
full mixer, HRM16.
Yeah, that's what the mixers are called. But yeah, so this is my little tiny booth here. We have a small room here. My Wurlitzer's in here at the moment, but a lot of times we do guitar amps in here.
Yeah.
And then back here, this is where microphones, pedals, snare drums, old tape echoes, full tones, bongos, headphones, and microphones are. And more pedals, more microphones, some amplifiers, some ribbon mics down here, pedals, volume pedals, DIs, keyboards, drum machine, and my plate right here.
Oh, nice.
The Echo Plate 3. I use pedals a lot. Earthquaker, these guys are awesome. They hooked me up with a few pedals, and they've been just really awesome. Just the best.
Yeah.
Best people.
Awesome.
And then in here, it's the control room. Now I've done a lot of videos and things in here, and a lot of people have seen it, but 827, at the moment it's kind of just holding this is a toolbox, by the way. It's got little tools in it, but it says cookies. And it's kind of just holding things right now, but do use it quite often.
Yeah.
And that's remote, of course. This is originally started out as tape storage and diffuser for the back of my room, and it's sitting on a big trap underneath here. There's a big trap down below here. It's turned into a wall of memorabilia.
It's a
First
special
pressing
wall.
version of Revolver up there, Apple Records version of Abbey Road, thank you cards, some old cheesecake pinups, a flying I was given a flying
Okay, we gotta get
when
that.
people say I don't give a flying someone actually did, and they gave it to me. It's pretty great.
Little Grammy shelf over here.
Well, it's just, that's
Beautiful.
one. Yeah.
Congrats.
And another one over here. And these are the second place trophies. That's when you get nominated, but you don't win. And then, gear. Some of the things that, my console, this is a SSL 6000E. It has no mic pre's. It was a film disc, so it's line input only. So a lot of this gear is mic pre's.
Yeah.
Because the console doesn't have any. It actually does have 4, but I never use them.
Yeah.
Because I listened to them once and was like, yeah, we're never using those. Yeah, BAE's in, there is a real one. There's 2 real ones.
Oh, yeah.
And then RCA's down here, so BA11s.
Wow.
And then these are basically a BA11, but with a tilt control. But these were made for PA systems. Yeah, they're a little bit less gain. And so that's cool. Obviously, a bunch of Cappies, Flickingers, APIs, Chandler, AEAs, Burls, Spectrasonics, and then I have a 12-channel Neotech. This is my old desk, which the rest of it's in a wrapped up in cellophane. This is my old Neotech. It's a 12-channel sidecar.
How long have you been using the Cappy stuff?
I've been using it for quite a while. That's 6-7 years, something like that. I first met Jeff about 6-7 years ago, and actually Jeff built custom boards for me for my SSL. For the routing switches. Those are all custom boards and switches, all new switches and LEDs. And
what is this thing? I saw this and I wanted.
That's an Avoset. It's my monitor controller. Because the SSL, I just leave the monitor wide open.
Yeah, I am in the market for monitor controllers right now. So
I hear they're 3 years out. You can buy one. If you order one now, they're 3 years away.
Oh my God.
Because the semiconductor shortage and all that. Well, this is not a G, it's an E.
Oh, okay.
And it's a 6,000, not a 4,000.
Okay.
So the 6,000 had a film matrix here, which basically was 3 stereo buses in dialogue effects music. And these, it didn't really ever sound very good to me. So I took that out. So underneath this panel is a API summing bus with actual CAPI 2520s in it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that Jeff Steiger made. So it is a custom console to me.
You have this Sound Anchor, what's it called? DAW Workstation or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's just called DAW Workstation.
This thing is like one of the most industrial, probably can't say it very well, but
yeah,
like,
I have 2 of them. Yeah, it's great. I just had re-umbilicaled this, so I haven't quite got all this sorted out, but the one of the optical Thunderbolt cables that I had stopped working. So I had to buy this new optical USB-C Thunderbolt cable, which, by the way, is quite expensive. Well, that's a hub I bought, yeah. It's OWC, it's great.
OWC, okay.
Yeah, so basically this just comes in and provides USB. There's a USB hub here.
Yeah.
So it provides USB, but it also allows me to patch in another monitor here. It allows me to patch in something Thunderbolt, Thunderbolt 2, Thunderbolt 3. It has an SD card reader. It's got a USB, like a USB 3 on the other side, just 4 on this side. It's got an optical out here for audio, optical audio, STIF.
And that's just one Thunderbolt 3 going to the computer?
One Thunderbolt 3 going to the computer. I have 2 of these long cables, another one's back here, and then I have 2 Thunderbolt 2 cables on adapters back there.
Yep.
And then I have a 50-foot 8K HDMI cable. Oh my gosh. This monitor will only do about 4K, but everything's really small, so I can't really see it. And then I have the 50-foot USB 3 optical. I don't ever work off clients' drives, ever. So if a client brings a hard drive, which they do often, and they sometimes they just leave them here, they're in my drawer here. Now I can plug them in here without going to the machine room, and I get full speed transfer.
Speakers, what do we got here?
All right, well, I have a set of atomic reactors. It was built by the late, great Norman Druce. I also have an atomic power supply. I'm at Atomic Industries, I should say. A power supply. Norman was a crazy mad scientist, and he built these. They're built around looking like an Altec 610 or 613 or something like that. They're a 3-way speaker with sub on the back, and what you can see there.
Wow.
They're really amazing for just a 2-way speaker. There's only a crossover on the sub.
Yeah.
They're passively crossed over. They just really, really amazing sounding. And then Proax Studio 100s. I have 3 sets of these. I've been using these for 15 years, pretty much.
Wow.
And then NS10s. These are my original NS10s I bought in 94. Wow. Something like that. And they've never been reconed or redrivered. And they have the Yamaha amp. And the cool thing about the Yamaha amp they're running is that the very first PA system that I ever worked with, about 10 years after it had been sold off, I found that amp from that PA system.
No way.
And it was a Yamaha 2200, and I bought it, and I am using it to this day.
What are you using this iPad for?
Oh, it's just a Pro Tools control. It's for place markers and play and that kind of thing.
And then I love that you have the fader port.
Well, same thing. It's just for play.
Transport.
But what's nice is that, you know, I have a couple clients who really love their car. And so I'll set up audio movers, stream it to my phone, and then I'll take the iPad and we'll go out back and I'll hit play with the iPad out back. It streams the audio movers in their car.
Yeah.
They listen in their car and they're like, can you bring the vocal up a little bit? And I can, yeah, I can.
Wow.
And just do it here with faders.
But obviously still going through all of the goods.
Yeah.
I think I saw something with Jack White.
Yeah, where he was doing that with, we were doing that with a radio transmitter.
How long have you been in this building?
In June, It was 7 years. So a little over 7 years now.
And you guys did all of the construction.
We did. What had happened was the people who bought it after World War II. All these houses in Berry Hill were built to house officers and workers at the airport, which there was a consolidated, there was a big plant. They built planes. And on the other side of the cemetery, there was the Naval and Army Air Corps Selection Center. If it was World War II and you get drafted and you go, I'd really like to fly and I've got good eyesight. They went, oh, really? And they sent you here to see if you actually could. And the reason it's called Berry Hill is because Nashville's airport at the time was Berry Field. And then later it became Nashville Airport. The airport code, if you ever fly into Nashville, is BNA.
That's
Berry
right.
Nashville Airport. This was outside of Nashville. This was not Nashville at all.
Right.
And they have their own laws and zoning. And one of the things is they zoned all of Berry Hill mixed use. So Berry Hill can be residence.
Oh, right.
It can be a business.
That's right.
There's 400 permanent residents and there's 53 studios. Wow. In 1 square mile.
I was really curious when I saw how you were using pedals. You had sort of them stored.
Yeah, they're stored on the side here. These are my frequently used. They're on the side here. This side of this is all Velcro. And so I can pull one off. And I've got, tape echo on here. Got some stuff back here.
So you can, let's say, line out Pro Tools, right? Or send from the desk or something?
Send from a desk.
Yeah.
Comes from radio up here, and then comes down into, there's 2 loops. So yeah, and I can just patch whatever I want here. And then like the flanger doubler has ins outs on the front. And then I made this Sans amp with an output. So like I can patch right in.
Yeah.
This is actually XLR. This is the plasma rack. It's really great.
That's awesome. And you got the classic Uris.
Yeah, let's say 6s.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Have you used this much?
I haven't used it yet. Just got them.
I'm excited.
And I got the delay too somewhere around here.
Okay, and then you got the little laps.
Yeah.
So you can kind of...
I have 2 of those.
Split it out everywhere.
Yep.
Do you have any stuff that just came out recently or coming out soon that we can tell anyone about?
Yeah. Probably. I think you can find my Wikipedia page and my management page. I tend to not sort of self-promote things that are coming out. I sort of would rather people find out about it. There are a couple things. There's some puremix.net stuff coming out.
There we go.
So I really do a lot of stuff with them. There's some content coming from them. Be on the lookout. A couple really cool mix breakdowns and then remixes, things I did. And then probably next year, there's a huge start to finish that we did. And it'll probably be 16, 20 episodes maybe.
Wow. And that's Puremix?
Puremix.net.
Puremix.net, okay.
Yeah.
Well, check it out.
I'm a mentor on there, so check it out.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this, dude. It was great to meet you.
Absolutely.
Absolute pleasure coming in here and checking it out.
Well, you know, be safe and stay out of trouble, kids.
All right. Later, everybody.